What's going on, YouTube? So I've got the car pretty much sitting here since the trans went down. It is a torque converter. Metal shavings everywhere in the oil pan, and today I'm going to get it up on the lift and pull the whole motor and everything out. Pull the trans out. I'm going to drop everything out the bottom. I got to get the Corvette off the lift, and I'll get it there. Actually, one of the reasons I'm doing it today is there's actually a guy wanting to buy this turbo kit, the low mount, tomorrow, wants to come by and pick it up. So I'll probably be installing a top mount and making a few changes to the motor, taking the trans out, and I'm probably going to go with a PTC converter this time. The transmission specialty one just wasn't holding up. It's the second one that went down. And I'll have to go with bigger injectors and everything, but I'm hoping for a lot of horsepower next year when the tracks open up. Not sure how much it'll make, but I'll start on lower boost again. The top mount will make more horsepower with the same boost level. It doesn't have near as much back pressure as a low mount, so that'll be pretty fun there. There isn't anything wrong with the low mount. Like I said, it's just some of the way they designed some piping. It could be changed, but it's just not what I like, and I've always wanted to have them on the top side. I'll have to relocate the ECU down here. You can see it down there, and I'll have to relocate the fuse panel, because each turbo will sit right here on the top side. And the downpipe is supposed to clear back there. There's not a lot of room, but I think it'll clear. Other than that, like I said, I'll probably throw oil pump gears onto it. Maybe a set of rods and pistons. Not sure yet. I'll open it up and look inside. It's got a lot of passes on that motor. I would hate to have it throw a rod or something and put a hole through the block where I have to start over. So to me, it just seems like a better idea to maybe throw rods and pistons in it before anything happens, since the new setup will be quite a bit quicker than this one. I've got the exhaust and everything taken off, got the transmission loosened up, got the lines taken off it and everything. So all I got left to do is I got all these wires taken off. Most of the wiring harness is loose. A few more plugs down there I need to get. And other than that, I have to drain the coolant yet, take the reservoir off, take the radiator hose off here, and then loosen the cradle underneath. And take these coolant lines off here for the heater. And the motor should be ready to drop out the bottom. The motor is completely dropped out now. You can actually see the kit. I've got the whole turbo kit loosened up. All the clamps loose, everything's ready to come off. It's a pretty tight fit on those turbos. You can see where they're actually at right here. They get pretty close to the trans there. There's the turbo 400. There's the other turbo right there. There's the dipstick for the trans. Blow offs are right up front there. The wastegates are way down there. You can see one of them right there. There's one of them. And the other's on the other side. It's a pretty tight fit. So I'll pull the radiator out. It's just the intercooler left up front. So I'll take that off, take the charge piping off, and then I'll be ready to take those manifolds off. Some of the bolts on the other side are pretty hard to get to, even with the motor out. Like the one, right there's one. A socket won't actually go on there, it's too tight. And I think there was the other one. So I'll go ahead and get those taken off. The intercooler and all the charge piping there has been taken off. And after I get those manifolds off, I'll start on them in a second. Then I got to take the transmission off, because I know that torque converter is in pretty bad shape. There's a lot of metal in that trans. So I'll be getting the new torque converter in, and hopefully get that up and going pretty soon. And I still got to order the top mount kit in. I've been browsing around, so I'll probably go with the twin 61mm, the ceramic ball bearing top mount. Looks like the way I'm going to go. I've got the manifolds taken off now. I just left the turbos fastened to it since I had already clocked them. The other car that it's going on is actually just about like mine. It's a 2015 and it's a manual. Everything should fit just like it did on mine. I just got to take the bolts off the bell housing there and loosen the torque converter, and I'll be ready to pull the transmission off, and then I'll get the motor up on a jack stand, or not a jack stand, on an engine stand, and I need to swap some oil pump gears. I'm probably not going to build it. I'm just going to leave it stock, rods, stock, pistons, everything. I'm just going to add the crank sprocket and the oil pump gears. I've got the transmission taken off now, so I'll be ready to take off the timing chain cover up front once I get the boundary oil pump gears in and the crank sprocket. I pulled the manifold off just to kind of make sure everything looks good that I can see from the top. Since I'm not going to be opening up the motor, I decided to keep it all stock as far as rods and pistons. The transmission is what I expected. It is the converter again. I'll have to dig into the trans and see if it actually damaged anything on the inside. I had just put new clutches and everything in it, first, second, and third. So hopefully those are still fine. If not, not a big deal to rebuild it. But the converter is where the problem is. You can hear, you may not be able to see it here, but you can actually kind of see the metal flakes in it right there. You can see them flowing right there. But you can hear it rattling. Definitely got some loose parts in it, about like the last one. So I'll be going with that PTC converter this time. Hopefully holds up a little better. And I'll be going with probably a set of FIC 1300 injectors. That's what I'm planning on going with here. I've thought about going 1700 since I probably need them later. But I'll probably stick with the 1300s for now. Other than that, I'll update you whenever the turbo kit comes in and the oil pump gears and the crank sprocket, and I'll get another video putting it back together. Hopefully it makes a lot of power. I think the top mount will, compared to the bottom mount. It had a lot of inefficient piping. The way it went over the arm there, you can actually see it rubbed there a little bit when the suspension would come up. It rubbed there, and I don't know why they did that, why they ran it over there. I don't see any marks on that side. But other than that, all I gotta wait on is parts, and I'll update you once those come in.